The Nora Hogan Story, Episode 1. Scrubbing down the battered counter of the Swan, it was like any other shift for me. Same old crowd, boozy blokes with dead-end jobs, all hoping to find the answers to their life at the bottom of a pint. The stench of beer and sweat hung heavy in the air, and the rumble of chatter was the theme of my every night. As I slid another pint across the counter, I caught a glimpse of a pair of wandering eyes from the corner of my eye. It was the same old game, these bastards trying to sneak a peek down my shirt while pretending to be interested in their damn beer mugs. I rolled my eyes and plastered on a fake smile, mentally counting down the hours until closing time. While I poured a beer for one of the regulars, a hushed conversation pricked my ears. Couldn't make out the words, but there was a sense of urgency in their voices that cut through the buzz of the bar. I glanced over at the two guys, a chubby merchant with an inflated sense of self-worth, and a courier, rugged and worn out, his gaze pulled away from my cleavage for once by their serious chat. "Something's brewing up north," the courier mumbled, his eyes locked on the merchant, the flickering candlelight throwing shadows across his rough and ready appearance. The merchant, his fat fingers heavy with gold rings, just waved him off. "Bullshit. We're in Rathlow, the bloody capital. We're safe here. Got the king's boys to watch our backs, and besides, those tales are just that. Tales." I played it cool, serving beers like it was business as usual, but my ears were working overtime, hanging on their every word. The background noise of the pub seemed to drown out as I zeroed in on their convo, a knot of worry coiling in my gut. The courier just shook his head, looking like he'd just swallowed a sour grape. "You don't get it. I've seen it with my own eyes. It's not just talk. It's real, and it's heading our way." As they continued their secretive chat, my heart was going a mile a minute, my palms slick with sweat. The daily grind of pouring beers and dodging wandering hands suddenly felt pointless compared to the courier's ominous warnings. Even tucked inside Rathlow's city walls, the world outside was stirring up a storm. And it wasn't the first time I'd caught wind of these rumors. I felt my hand shake a little as I picked up another mug to clean. Tried to concentrate on the job, but my thoughts kept circling back to what the courier said. Just as I was lost in thought, Danny, my boss, sidled up to me, grinning like he knew a secret. His brown hair always looked like he'd just rolled out of bed, in that I just saved the day kind of way. "Quite the crowd tonight, huh, Nora?" Danny chimed in, leaning on the counter, shooting me a look that was more than just friendly. "You're killing it, as usual." I returned his comment with a half-hearted smile, my mind caught up in a web of worries. "Thanks, Danny. Just trying to keep these thirsty bastards satisfied." Right on cue, some loudmouth hammered his empty pint glass down on the counter, pulling me back to the here and now. "Hey, Ra, you gonna stand there making eyes, or you gonna fill this up?" I shot him a look, arching an eyebrow at his audacity. "Sure thing, champ," I shot back, sarcasm coating every word. "Your wish is my command." I filled up his mug and slid it over, a smirk playing on my lips. Suddenly, the vibe in the bar shifted as the merchant and courier's voices raised, their words growing harsher. Before I knew it, their heated debate had turned into an all-out brawl, fists flying, chairs going over. The rest of the punters scrambled to get out of the way, their previous merrymaking replaced by a cocktail of concern and morbid curiosity. Danny was on his feet in a flash, diving into the brawl with that stubborn look of his. Brody, our bouncer, a mountain of a man with a scar zigzagging down his chin, jumped in alongside him to break up the fight. Together they manhandled the courier away from the merchant, dragging him out the door and into the chilly night. The tavern fell into a hushed silence, the air tight with tension as I made my way over to the merchant, nursing a bloody nose and an equally battered pride. I crouched down next to him, offering a clean cloth to stem the bleeding. "You okay?" I asked, concern seeping into my voice. The merchant winced as he pressed the cloth to his nose, squinting at me. "I've seen better days," he grumbled. "That bloody courier wouldn't shut up. Never met a bloke so hell-bent on stirring up a panic." My gaze drifted to the door, pondering the courier's ominous warnings and their potential truth. But right now, all I could do was deal with the aftermath and get back to the dance I knew all too well, serving drinks and deflecting drunken passes, all with a heavy knot of uncertainty lodged in my chest. As the night rolled on, I kept the drinks flowing, trying to shake off the gnawing unease lodged in my gut. I even knocked back a glass or two of wine on the house from Danny, trying to calm my jumpy nerves. The liquid courage seemed to do its trick, at least for a while, as I surrendered myself to the comforting rhythm of the bar. Wrapping up another night, I clanged the bell for last call. A ripple of groans moved through the regulars as Danny and I guided them towards the exit, their chuckles and good-natured ribbing chasing them out into the darkness. Starting our shutdown routine, my eyes caught Isabella, one of the fresh faces behind the bar. "You can take off, Isabella. We can handle the rest," I threw at her. She returned a grateful smile before vanishing into the cool night air. Danny and I switched to scrubbing glasses, the chime of glass and swoosh of water filling up the silence. I looked up when Brody, our brickhouse bouncer, ambled over, coat tossed over his shoulder. "You guys good to lock up?" he asked, worry roughening his voice. "We're all right, Brody," I reassured him, putting on a tired smile. "Go hit the sack." With a brisk nod, he left us to our tasks, the door shutting with a soft click behind him. So, with our hearts heavy and our thoughts heavier, Danny and I kept at the cleaning, each wrapped up in our private world as the night pressed on. We stuck with our cleaning, the clatter of glasses and the splash of water creating a soothing soundtrack. Reaching for another glass, I noticed Danny stealing glances at me, which stirred a secret smile inside. The guy could find a way to flirt even in the middle of the most boring chores. "You know, Ra," he started, his voice dropping to a teasing whisper, "I've always thought moonlight would look damn good on you." I rolled my eyes, even as a flutter danced in my chest. "And I've always thought you'd look a lot better with your trap shut, Danny," I shot back, a playful lilt in my voice. Danny let out a laugh, unfazed by my quick-witted comeback, and slumped against the counter. "You know, I've been thinking about chucking all this and moving out to the sticks. Start a farm? Get away from all this racket?" he mused, his eyes wandering off somewhere in the distance. "A farm?" I spat out, arching an eyebrow. "What? So you can make all the cows swoon with your fool's gold smile?" I ribbed him, although the thought of a simple, quiet life away from the city chaos didn't sound half bad. Danny cracked up, shaking his head. "You're something else, Ra. But, seriously, it might be nice." We wrapped up our chores, minds wandering to what could be, our laughter filling up the empty bar. Just as we were about to hit the road, a crazy pounding at the door jolted us. The booming noise ricocheted around the room, each thud sending a chill shooting down my spine.